and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one, for the first time, 2022, Hecarim. And that's because they gutted him, cut his legs off, fed them to him, and then put him on the supermarket shelves in France. However, with a nice flat buff, 4-second buff to his W, which helps your sustain and tankiness, especially when you rank it up last, as we go on a level 1 incursion with Braum, Pantheon, Flash, Stun. However, they can hit you over the wall, and we died. We did die. This is going to be a long game. We're not going to go through all the nitty-gritty piss macro later on, but we will definitely go through everything that happens in this game that allows you to carry with Hecarim in the new reality that is his buff W plus buffed AD ratio Q, which will affect, obviously, the AD builds, the Trinity Force builds, and so on, as we're still going on this level 1. But this player has an 81% win rate with the champion in Master Tier, and loves playing full tank. Full tank. And the W buff is something that you really do enjoy when you don't level it up, and you get a cooldown benefit from that for the entirety of the game. So, huge value there. Let's start off with the red buff. You will obviously have seen the runes on your screen in this particular case using Phase Rush. It is very, very good with Chem Tank in and out gameplay, maximum speed activation. We're kiting on down here, we're being a little bit cautious, that's fine. So overall, what we're going to have here is a 2-2, tied gold game despite that level 1 Fiesta. At this stage, we know the bot lane here is definitely not going to be leashing. We know that the Yone is not going to be leashing, and so the Volibear is going to be behind as well because he also died. So the leashless Volibear means you don't quite know where he begins, they know where you begin. So that's just something you have to keep in your mind. But overall, you know Volibear is going to be way behind the tempo that you're going to be, or we're going to have. And the next thing, of course, we can talk about is his name. Gang, then farm. A jungler, after the own Virkayu philosophy's heart, Yaz. Gank, reward yourself with camps. Now, the thing is, he does have a few games where he is everywhere, and his CS per minute is a little bit low, but overall, he still averages a good 6 to 7, and in many games will have 6.5, 7, maybe a little bit more if he gets particularly juiced, like an 8.1 I've seen. But the whole point is, looking for action to impact lanes and then translating that to a good sequence is the better way to play in the jungle for most junglers, unless you're Karthus, obviously. Red side clear, into the bottom lane. We know that they don't have any sums. We are in a minion wave, of course, we're gonna die. So that's not the best gank into the minion wave, but I do applaud the concept. Now, we've seen this before from a very high level jungler with a really good win rate. Do you guys remember who it was? It was the Talon jungler I covered in the main chat. Can she die? Good, she's dead now. It was a Talon jungler who would do the same thing. 3 camp, gank bot lane. If he died, he didn't care. If he got value, KDA wise, gold wise, he would know how to use that to extend his lead. The fact that the Volibear is way farther behind than he typically will be is of course a benefit, but he still gets to the top lane first. Yone will die to the ignite, but Volibear does get a cleanup on Mr. Fear My Yone. Okay. That's not as good of a name. But the point is, I don't like that we died. I don't like that we did it into minion wave, and sometimes bot lane is not ready, but I enjoyed that, you know, they had no sums and we're trying to punish that. Now, we do have a collapse here from the Volibear. We're going to avoid the E, which we do. We do get stunned. No shield for the volley. No percentage damage from him. Chase him down. You can do this as Hecarim. Any Volibear player knows if you miss your E on a Hecarim, it definitely makes it significantly more difficult. And obviously, in this case, played beautifully by the Hecarim, and that volley buff from a few months ago coming in big for a second rotation spell on the E. But the Hecarim is just able to completely sustain, use that W, and keep whirling with no issue. So the champion is still stronger than you might think he would be given the win rate data, okay? And that's the most important thing. Again, like Talia, like Olaf, the win rate isn't telling the whole story. If someone can be a Master Tier with an 81% win rate, using a champion with a less damage-focused build than we would see from other players, that's pretty big, you know? And obviously here from this, we're going to fall back to the blue side. We're going to go on down and do the wolves, and then we can look to match the Volibear on the bottom side of the map, as he most likely will be headed in that direction. However, what we can do here is focus on ganking and then farming. Say, listen, bot lane, pay attention yourselves, it's warded. I see Mr. Yone, Fear My Yone, on the top side here. Okay, so that's scan. I think it did. Why are you here? The Volibear's like, nah, I'm gonna go for the Krugs, bro. I'm gonna go do the Krugs. Yeah, we know he's sequenced from bottom to top lane. Why is he coming straight back to this? He wants to sequence down, I know that, but there's a bottom crab here. You know this dude's gonna fall back to his blue side. It's a little bit of an oversight from the Volibear's perspective. We don't quite have Ghost, but we will have our Phase Rush if we can proc it. We can create distance with that. The E does hit, and the Luck Shield, thank you so much, Kamsamnida. And now we can fall on back to our wolves. So, just to deconstruct that from a jungler point of view, if you see a potential gank here and it's warded and you cause a decompression of the lane, clear the ward and yeet back to base. The Volibear, though, if he did this and goes up, right, and then he dies, why would he go to this location down knowing that this is a possibility? Potentially that's why, but at the same time we've got this. We've got tier 2 Raptors and Krug spawning. We know the Hecarim has not taken those camps on the blue side through basic tracking. So this is something the Volibear should have definitely looked to do. And I know we don't always like pausing, but I think it's most important that we talk about that in this situation. And our bot lane, of course, are going in still. 2-1-1 for the Ezreal, 1-0-2 for the Kai'Sa. Braum flexing some support memes for his KSing, I'm sure. And of course now we have control of our tier 2 sequences, and of course the Volibear has died again. That was a bit of a rundown by the volley. Don't like the path thing at all. I do like in this particular situation, if you know that the enemy jungler is going to be spending his time, go and get something to deny him that helps your laners and helps yourself. And in that case, it's outside Crab, it's taking his counter jungling, ganking the bot lane, falling back to your blue side again, and the Hecarim will now reset after going top side here, not getting anything, as you would have seen, and he'd be absolutely screwed. So definitely missed opportunity. Volibear now really in a tough situation. Makes me hurt, because he probably has not purchased, downloaded, and used my Zao.gg Live Companion Guide that tells you everything you need to know about how to play Volibear. Every build, from advanced to master level, challenger level even, all on your fingertips while you play the game. That was easy, right? We just gotta keep pushing our guides. Actually, I have a Warwick one in the works, and a Bel'Veth one will come up shortly after, so keep your eyes out. As, of course, Hecarim does his Krugs. So the ganking and fighting and then farming is working very, very well, but it's definitely a philosophy I subscribe to. And the Volibear is making me question many things about the nature of this reality. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care even if you're a full jungler. If you're a high elo player, some things have to be understood about the jungle role, and it's weird that, you know, even if they are filled and he's not, that they just can't seemingly play the game properly sometimes. It's quite funny. Anyway, bad pathing is punished, and it should always be punished thusly. We're out of mana, which is why a Chem Tank Mana build is still popping off and is still a very good go-to, so feel free to do that, but it's also why he likes the Frozen Heart. We get the mana, we get the haste, we get the rock solid passive, we get the attack speed reduction against attack speed comps, and honestly it works against just about everyone who wants attack speed, even Volibear. Even Kale, they build Nashes, doesn't matter, it still works, right? So from this we get 6, we need to use our 6 spike. Let's use it thusly. Yes, yes, fear my pony. And My Little Pony. Indeed. Well, that was easy. See how easy it is, ladies and gentlemen? I did a quadrant, and then I ganked. Or I ganked, and then I did a quadrant. Don't full sequence in AFK. See the video on the main channel. I show you the downsides to ignoring lanes, to only clearing and then ganking. It works if you're a fast farmer. It works if you're Karthus. It works if your champion can do that. But if your champion's a little slower, or cannot do that, it's better to impact lanes and tilt the lanes, get gold leads. Through the tower with the Braum. Hello, Ezreal. He will, of course, Arcane Shift. He gets knocked airborne. Kai'Sa goes in. We use our ult here overall. Can we get... No, see, that's too deep. Too deep! Same as the Talon. Exactly the same as the Talon. Again, match history, guys, is in the description below. It is. You can see this. He has an 81% win rate with the champion. He knows how to use Hecarim. This is his build. The guy is good. But sometimes you gotta push the limits, and sometimes you gotta try get the kills. And honestly, not everyone plays perfectly all the time. I don't subscribe to being this deathy overall, but I do like the overall data that I'm seeing here. Again, we rotate, we see something, we see the Yone Yasuo wannabe kind of trying to kill a Lux. We say, no, 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 not today. We rotate, we defend. Great. And now when you do that, okay, when you rotate to defend ganks and help laners and get to situations, you're not going to be in a position to do what you originally were intending, you know? You might have left the base here to go crab, gank, top, take Herald, or something of that nature, or even invade if you see the Volibear somewhere else. But if you react to something like the mid lane fight on the Yone here, you're going to end up somewhere else. And the best thing for you is to adapt your pathing and say, what's the next best thing I can do? We can sequence on up here. So we have ganked bot lane. We did die again, unfortunately. We did rotate mid lane, and now we can sequence, okay? I do like the philosophy overall. Top lane is dead. So is there any point going to top lane to gank this? No, so we can farm. If our laners are out of the picture, there's nothing for us to do. Farming is an easy decision, obviously. So this is actually an interesting game here. We're gonna need a pop-off moment. I think it's coming up soon. I can feel the tension in the game growing. Can you feel the tension in the game growing? I can feel the tension in the game growing. Volibear takes that. And what does it tell you? Firstly, Volibear griefed and inted and trolled, but he used the knowledge of the fact that you went down and didn't show up here for a while to go ahead and take an objective, which tells us where he is. So what you can do then is track from the bottom side the gank or go to the Herald. If Yone is still here, I mean, he has to come back, so just chill. I mean, obviously we see the Yone there. We're gonna ult in and swipe. Thank you so much. Use our phase rush to move in and out. Obviously we want to do that. Our E will be up again. Re-dodge. Nice. Volibear misses the ult. W is up once more. We can charge in. We always have our stacks and our swipies. Nice Braum. We Q that one. Yeah. Nice swipe again. Always want to keep your stacks up. We want to keep twirly whirling. Use that E to reposition. Use that phase rush to reposition. Beautifully done. And that's why Conqueror might be the de facto go-to. But phase rush on a tank Hecarim with Mana Moon or a Glacial Shroud and a Frozen Heart, when played well, it's beautiful. And even though he might have inted and had a few sad moments in this game, as I said, he used that to get Balmy Cinder, to get Ionian Boots of Lucidity, to put himself in a position to still be active. You don't dive through a level 3 gank or a level 6 dive and go, well, that's GG, I died. No, you say, well, that sucks, I tried. What now can I do to make the best of that situation? And most junglers don't do what this guy does, which is just, well, I got some cash money, spend it, use it. Rotate, keep my philosophy, keep my game plan. Enemy jungler has basically been removed early, and that's something in coaching I talk about a lot. I really like... Pantheon, what are you doing? I really like that we kind of... I lost my train of thought because the Pantheon's just... I just realized he's 1 for 1 and he's not really doing a lot of things. If you can clean up this kill, I'll get back to it in a second. Go ahead and do so, but obviously it is a Yone, so it is a bit diseased. We do have an E, we can respace ourselves. We just want to be careful here. Can we bait him in a little bit? Can we bait him in? No. Good night. Yeah, I see. I'm much more cautious in those situations. I really don't want to die. Unless you have, like, really good range CC, it's better just to kind of let him do its thing. So the game is going to go in a very negative way now. And we're going to have to swing back. So the early lead was great, but now the enemy team is going to start to run with the fact that we're having some sad deaths and... We're trying really, really hard to put out the fires on the map, and we're dying in the process, so that's not obviously good. But as I was saying, the easiest way to make all of this possible is by removing the enemy jungler early. Counter ganks, good one easy fights, using numbers advantage, using the over-aggression against them by understanding your champion better than they understand their own champion. And even if the Volibear is making those aggressive mistakes, trying to use his ability to be a strong early champion, the Hecarim plays him, the Volibear makes the wrong calls, and he dies because of it, you know? And now because the Volibear has been removed, it's much easier to try make those level 3 ganks, those level 6 dives, the cleanups, 2v2s, and you always will end up being ahead. So if you can remove the enemy jungle first and foremost, ganking and then farming is really easy. Hello! Nice to meet you. Avoid the E. Beautifully done. He gets a shield. Knock him back. Q. Alt. Q. I mean, look, you don't really need any help here. The mana, though. The absolute mana. I mean, okay, a little bit help at the end, but the mana cost. That's why you love Mana Moon. You see that you just want to keep spamming without consideration of running out. And the chem tank we do have here, we're actually not even going straight into Frozen Heart this game. I do think if you're not running Mana Moon, I do like that. He will go Frozen Heart this game. He will have, of course, have his Deadmans. He will have his Force of Nature. Do we need? Yeah, we do need both. And obviously he will go with an Anathema's Chain, something that he kind of likes to cheekily go on when there's hyper carries against the enemy team. And you really need to reduce their damage to you because you're fighting them all the time. So keep that in mind as well. But it's an interesting build. You can look through his match history and decide which variants you prefer. There are some Divine Sunderer games, of course. But this is how you defeat a Volibear. Avoid the E. Reposition. And now he's lost that spell for the next, 10 seconds. Depending, of course, on the haste. Senna has rotated the top lane, misses a W. We move back to knock the Yone. He is forced to ult out. He's going to E back in here. Senna keeps auto-queuing as much as he can. Order for the slow, getting the Q reduction, and then she yeets him yet again, triggering her passive. She ults down and kills the Lux, so the Senna doing work. No, I wish that was me, but it's not me. I am not running Fleet Footwork Senna at the moment. I'm running Airy Senna, and with a Locket Redemption Super Survivor tech, because I can still do damage and I can keep everyone alive. And what I actually kind of like doing is rushing Umbral still, because the vision control is obscene, and then I flex into the Locket as well as the Redemption. So I'm playing around with the Senna tech at the moment, but either way, Senna playing well. We do hit the Braum passive there, the knock-up, which means she most likely will be dead because she is giga squishy. We were going to go for that Herald, of course, but as soon as you see people out of position, make your fight. Again, using R to reposition out of CC, using Phase Rush to reposition out of CC, using E to reposition out of CC is very, very, I mean, we die, right? But it's more the point of how we use the mobility in the kit to try and avoid crucial spells. And when you do that, more often than not, you will survive those situations. 753. What do we have here? 103 Kai'Sa. I'm remarkably impressed, as you can see. New Kai'Sa statue. I fixed the lights. There was an issue with the lights, but now purple and pink. Beautiful. Bel'Veth. I'm gonna try get on PBE early and counter to normal video release schedule on this channel. I'm going to try and get a Bel'Veth PBE gameplay for you early, and I'm going to try to become an authority on this as soon as I can. I'm going to research everything I can, spam it, hundreds of games of PBE. I'm really going to work to make sure that you guys, you junglers, get the best Bel'Veth knowledge you can early. Kai'Sa's going to solo this, which is one of the great benefits of the champion, and if she can do that, do that. Senna's moving on down through her E here. We do want to be cautious. We don't have R, we don't have E currently. The Victor W is really diseased at this stage. At every stage of the game. Ione boots are good. Volibear is also a Divine Sunder Volibear. No, this is not the way. Here we go, charge in. That is a flash from the Victor. Can we survive? No, we cannot. He is running it down a little bit here, which is absolutely good. A lot of you were telling me that we want someone who's going to solo carry in the game, right? But also make mistakes and die. And hopefully you're enjoying this because it's a little bit different to see someone who's going to carry this game, who is a high-level Hecarim, who wins 81% of his games, but is also making these just hyper-aggressive engages. But at the same time, as a Volibear main, I know, see, that Volibear main, that Volibear player doesn't know, but when you know when to go in or how to go in or how much your champion can do, it gives you confidence to do those things. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of tilt in this. However, usually what happens is a team will overcommit and we can easily come back into this game. So we're just going to look for those opportunities now. Umbrella jungling, look for overstays. The fact that enemy teams have left, we can smite, we can E. We do have the swipey. Ult over the wall. We knew the arcane shift was coming, so you just stick with them. You hold it until that moment. Braum stunning the Senna. Thank you so much. Q again. And obviously we have our W as well as our E available. Should it be necessary, double kill. 963. Here we go. What's the gold amounts? 8,500. Enemy jungle, not even 6,000. We have by far the most in the game outside of Ezreal. So even though we've died, we've tried to make plays, but I do think, if you've watched my content enough, you know that I really value the very measured, engaged approach where you try not to die. If it looks doomed, don't overcommit. If people kill themselves by doing stupid invades, you let them do it, you fall back and farm your camps, and really try and get a huge experience lead. At this stage, that's what he's doing. Okay? Might as well, because I was about to say, might as well because he's gonna die again, but he lives. But the mana costs are absolutely insane on this champion. Really, I know it, I understand it, but it's been so long since we've seen a non-mana moon build that it's kind of like a big shock, isn't it? That he's just running around farming. I'm out of mana now. Did a full clear, got some kills, I'm out of mana. I do think that a Glacial Shroud, or sitting on that at least, is pretty good as well. We do have the dead mans because Yone is the biggest fear for us, as well as a fed Ezreal. So the AD threat is why we build AD resistance first. The Victor and the Volibear do have some... Oh, the Volibear and the Ezreal are hybrid, but the Victor is of course going to be huge damage. We don't need to worry about him just yet. Late game we do, so we can hold off. Yone, was du hier? Ah, we try to knock him back. We do knock him back. He tries to ult out. He will be diseased from this. He Qs to get some more mobility, but is stunned by the Braum passivo, and you know, that's great. Make the picks. Send out of position. Lux ult. Doom. Here we go. Gallop. Donkey is arrive. We are gonna get... Had a good arms session today. C-Bum gave me a quadra set of triceps to open. That's a superset times 2, but in 1. So I'm resting them on my desk. I'm kind of tired, but anyway. you know, it happens to all of us, okay? It happens. I faceplant with Volibear ults too. I miss my own ult sometimes. Zyra, Zyra, not so much. That's like 1.5 million points. I mean, I have to really be out of it to mess up on Zyra, but happens, happens. So, anyway, we are now 20 minutes into the game. We are down by this many golds times 1,000. Yone is split pushing on the top side. We have 1 dragon apiece. We have Victor splitting on the bot lane. Is that Victor from Arcane? Thank God there's no Jace. If I see one more fucking Jace at Worlds, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. If Cannon, Jace, and Twisted Fate are once more meta at Worlds, Riot got them, reworked them. I just want to see difference in the top lane. You know, I don't want to see the same damn champions all the time. And I do understand the pro play is always different, but please. Anyway, that's my rant aside while we wait. Kaiser overcommits a little bit, disrespecting the fact that the Yone was split pushing here. We have another TP committed by the Victor. He's going to show up here. I don't know why he does, because now you've wasted your TP with the dragon up. You have two people splitting in the top wave. We have Braum, Hecarim, and Lux going into the river to see if they can take a dragon. They recognize, oh wait, why don't we just take an inhib? Good decision. Pantheon says, I can help. And we say, well, you can help about as much as the Greek Empire from 2,000 years ago can help us now, which is weird because they could. If you just read their philosophies on democracy and taxation, you'd understand that there was a pretty noble understanding of those things. We don't have that anymore. Look out for your fellow men, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for them, no matter who they are. Now, obviously, they overcommit here. We kill them. Life advice, jungle advice, horse advice, and that's because he's dying more. So when he dies more, and there's more, you know, a lapse in the jungling, I can say more random things, and obviously stutter at the same time. Well, that's because my brain moves too fast. Unlike this Hecarim, whose other brain moves too fast by his engages. Anyway, cringe. Pushing on the bottom lane, we have Kai'Sa here, which means your ADC's out of the picture. We want to push this up as much as possible. The fact that we saved the inhib is great. Excuse me? My bad. Here we go. I didn't sleep very well the last 2 nights. If you can't tell. Ah, the lazy back. Ult into hello. Hello, this is a Yone. We have the Senna here. We just want to avoid this. Use your phase rush proc to reposition. We get knocked up, unfortunately. Knock up into a stun, into a, you know, full-on combo. I don't think the Senna needed to ult there, but I will not lie to you. I, too, have enjoyed a great many chaoses and assist snacks from ulting for no reason whatsoever. I'm ashamed to admit it, but it's the truth. Kai'Sa splitting on the bottom wave here, getting free tower smacks. And obviously here we're going to lose a Baron because of this. So let's speed this up here. Nothing you can do but fall back, control your camps. Again, ideally, we should be alive. This is one of the more inty games that he had, which is why I chose it, because there were some 20-minute ruffle stomps, and it wasn't interesting, okay? I wanted to show you what happens when you engage at the wrong moment, when you overcommit at the wrong moment, and the implications it can have on your lanes. So yes, he shut down the enemy jungler. Yes, the enemy jungler is basically a bot. Yes, he's not having the best game in terms of his engages and his positioning, but when he does do it well, and even in those tight situations, he's really pushing the limits of the champion, and he's playing it very, very well overall. It's just the mental decisions aren't going our way. So they have Baron, which means at this point, look for a pick as we do. I almost sped up too far. Kai'Sa repositions for the knock-up for the kill. Overcommitting ADC is always a tasty snack that you can eat. Volibear shows in the river. We have here Senna in the jungle. Want to be very cautious. Ward here, ward here, ward here, ward here. Also, this is a good ward because in case they flank on down, beautifully done. Senna in position. She's going to start to scale here, and because she's gone, she actually has got Fleet Footwork Locket. Very, very good. So the Locket tech, even if you go, yeah, good. We want to get out of this. You need to survive here. You need to try and survive and keep your distance. Let your team do its thing. Peel and engage. Here we go. Backline. If you die here, it's fine. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We have the W again. The 14 seconds instead of 18 seconds with haste now is, I can actually tell you right now, straight up 8.24 seconds. So that's really, really, really important. Beautifully done there. You see? Almost. Reposition! Run! Ah, he tried. Lux! Lux! Okay. Well, you know, overall good. Close fight. Close fight. And, you know what? The fact that we got all but the victor, I think, is pretty good. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, the Locket, you can go anywhere, and you can kind of do BC, and you can also do Umbral Glaive as well. So you don't have to go full-on support, but the Locket, as a principle, giving you more resists, because you don't really need the damage, right? You build so much damage, you get so much damage anyway from the kit, and the Locket just allows you to survive and protect your team a bit more. I do like that, but you can go full AoE plus Redemption, and that is hilarious if you have a hyper carry team, if you don't need damage. Like in this game, you don't really need damage, so you could justify it. And if she was doing that, they might have even just straight up won that fight. No joke. No joke. It's really, really strong. Anyway, for Hecarim, that was good in and out gameplay using phase rush repositioning. And now Victor is overcommitting. Their team is up. Here we go. Ult, flash, hit it, fleeing, stunned, doomed. Nice W, Kai'Sa. Beautifully done. So that's exactly what you're looking to do. Overcommits punish. And again, even in Master Tier, they are doing this. It's random, isn't it? The good thing is we have that one dragon, though. In these games, you really want to make sure you keep that one dragon so that, you know, you're not really getting sold really early. But even if you do, if you have a decent scaling comp, which we do, except for the Pantheon, of course, who's just going to be a stun bot, then, of course, you can get the Elder Dragon. But in this case, the enemy team scales a lot better than us, so we do have to be cautious about this. Keep making the picks. Ezreal's in the mid lane. A lot of stuns. Yone's coming back. Yone's coming back. Excuse me. This nice Lux ult, Volibear over the wall. Hecarim now repositioning. We're going to try and peel this a little bit, knock him back. We're going to keep the Kai'Sa alive. Keep the Kai'Sa alive. Work with Braum in that regard. And now, if you need to leave, the Guardian proc, we need to leave. They do actually kill the Kai'Sa, so we did our job. The Pantheon really... That wasn't in the bush, right? Oh. Well, it is a Scryer's Bloom, it's not a ward. Anyway, over the wall. Hello, Ezreal. You deserve to die. Arzul. Good night, good night, good night. You can see, though, when it comes to picks, disruption, repositioning, it's really tough to solo carry with a tank build when you don't have that mana moon. Of course, we're in the Frozen Heart territory as well, and we're going to build our Force of Nature also now. You're letting your carries, you need your carries to do damage, you know? You can do all you can to avoid CC and disrupt and engage and peel, but it's on them to do stuff. But you still do a lot yourself. You still do a lot yourself. No ult here, Victor, we burn that, which is good. Save the inhib, except for one. The fact that we've only lost one inhib is really, really good. So let's speed this on up, because we don't waste too much time with the wave clearing. This point, if you, again, just be the tank. This is the most important thing here, right? This is the most important thing here. As the tank, you have to be the one to go face check. You have to be the one to go into the bushes. You have to be the one to help your team get control of your jungle again, because they're just going to go ahead and take your camps and ward it up. And they're not always going to be bunched together, especially in low elo. And that's when you'll really get the cleanup necessary to perhaps give you a Baron, to perhaps give you some shutdown. Now, because we've killed the Yone, be the tank. Go, go, go. See this? He just goes. He knows how to be a tank. He knows how to use Hecarim as a tank. It's a different skill set. And Kai'Sa's not in the picture here, so this is way overzealous for the Pantheon. But we're going to reposition again. Now we do have Lux with us. Again, just kiting, being the tank. You're not an assassin at this point. Kai'Sa, can we please arrive? We do have ult here over the wall to the Ezreal. We do have Smite as well. Wait for the Kai'Sa so she can ult in. Here we go. She's shadowing from the left. Uses her E-camouflage to get in. Now we can ult the backline. They kill the Volibear. Bad positioning. We're going to deal with the Ezreal ourselves. We're still an assassin. Phase rush out. Avoid the Victor's circle of doom and disease. Go back in with that. We will have another E-charge up, which we're going to use to reposition. Beautifully done again. You see? Playing around the team. Playing around the cooldowns. Playing around the movement speed. And obviously we do have Chem Tank as well, which boosts our damage nicely. So poor Ezreal. Full on tank Hecarim. What's he going to do? Nada. Nada, nada, nada. Pantheon, though, is deeply concerning to me. There is a Baron available. Going down here I don't like, because they easily could be doing it even without the jungler alive, especially if they see the fact that you've gone down. So Victor actually shows bottom lane, which is huge for us, so we know that they're most likely not on it. But we do want to kind of sneak this away if we can, because Victor's bot lane with no TP. So that's horrific splitting by the Victor, knowing that this is an objective on the map. He's going to have to rotate it. You need to pull the trigger as a tank before Victor. Good. Very, very good. And now you're seeing him come into his own. Excellent ult. They're staying on the Baron there. We're just disrupting at this point. The Braum is huge. Avoid the Volibear if you can. Well done. Lux ult off the left side of the screen. That is just funny. That was great. Very, very good. Very, very good. We need a bit of laughter in our lives, even in these tense games. And in this if this happens, you just go, my bad. Level 15 Volibear. The Divine Sunder will help, but you see how easily we can avoid his E. That's so important here. So that Baron is huge. It allows us to hold. Even without the Lux, we can hold. And Kai'Sa goes in, kills the Ezreal there. We're going to absolutely help annihilate the Senna. Again, she's still squishy with this build. She's still squishy in general. If you have enough damage, it's fine. Again, disrupting, super minions. We're just sticking to the Victor here, but of course the Yone is not flanking in. Can we get out with our ult? We can. Well done. Unstoppable. So can we keep repositioning? Yes. Little too deep with the Yona's rotation, but honestly, absolutely fine. Gives you time to push out. And your ult is now on a 50-second cooldown, so. Alright. Soul Point is upcoming. It would be nice for us to secure that. I wouldn't mind trading one inhib in this particular situation for the Soul Denial. Considering we have Baron, we can definitely decompress the map. So you want to make sure you push vision up in these lanes so you can get wards here, 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 and here. Like, just layer the vision as a team. I mean, ideally here and here is fine. 1, 2, 3, because that's more than enough to kind of block the entrances to the Dragon Pit so you can secure it. Let's have a look here. You see, there you go. If you can make the pick, obviously. You don't want to coin flip anything. You're only splitting top lane. So, Pantheon's useless. You guys can win this 4v4 easily, but you have to pull the trigger. You have to know what you're doing. You cannot afford to let your Pantheon die. Kai'Sa has done the dragon in the meantime, which is good. Hopefully you were seeing that. I'm kind of just looking at the corner of my eye. And now we need to get back to base and not let it be cancelled. We do have Baron holding, which is beautiful. That's why Baron in these kinds of games is exquisite to have. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Yone. I'm going to just make sure you get knocked up so Kai'Sa can just absolutely RQ you and you die. Pretty much, she doesn't really need to press any buttons. If you just ER and then Q, a couple autos and then do pops. You don't even need your W in those situations. It's nice to have, but you don't really need it. Huge damage with the full AD Kai'Sa build. Right. We denied the soul, obviously, which is great. And now we have control of our jungle. And Yone is dead because he didn't respect the fact that there would be basing and his team couldn't stop the bases. So they're playing very, very well from behind in terms of negative macro. Kai'Sa is going to be pushing the Super's top lane to decompress that wave, which means what you want to do is either kill their carries, of course both of them are in the mid lane, or shadow and protect the Kai'Sa. So in this particular situation, Ezreal's just going, what do I have to do for some survival? Someone help me now. And late game tank Hecarim with an Anathema's chain is really, really good. Actually, the Ezreal was underneath there. We still get the kill. Kai'Sa rotates now nicely. We need to try and peel if we can. We're not able to. Volibear does get the swipe on the W, which is enough to kill the Kai'Sa, but then Hecarim cleans it up. The extended fights, the mobility, the W is just doing so much work, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch good tank gameplay, and the fact that he's Hecarim just makes it even nicer to watch, you know? And it's nice that he's not AFK farming. Like, he has to work to do this. Yeah, and he didn't even play perfectly in the game. Uh-oh. I'm worried about the deaths. I'm worried about the GA completion from the Yone. Right, take out red. Whew, intense game. We're getting to the climax of this one. Let's speed it up. Again, overcommit. Trot alt kill. Again, this is it. That's all you have to do. And if you can do that without your team, whatever champion you're playing, all the better. All the better. Again, now we go into the jungle. Team isn't with us. Doesn't really matter because you're unkillable to them and you can still deal with it. Brom. Brom, brom. Can we get a knock up here for the Kai'Sa R? Okay, she's in the back. There we go. We're waiting for the Victor. Repositions late. Swipe, swipe, swipe. E is up again. We do have blue smite as well. We're going to go on the Victor here, which is huge, which is what we want to do. Going to keep doing that with Force of Nature. Stacks of building, CC's coming through. Doesn't really matter. With E again. Lux ult. Doesn't matter. Knock it back into the stun. Beautifully done. Cooldowns used. That's an inhib, baby. That's a good scaling game. Yone completely not helping his team whatsoever. Supers are pushing. Doesn't really matter. GA is proc. That's nice. We really want to do the Baron, though. We really kind of want to do the Baron, but that is a tough one to crack when you have no supers, and of course the soul point coming up, especially when it's an ocean soul. So let's have a look to see what we can do. Anyone out of position? Are we tracking back timers? And Victor should have TP. We need to make sure we are scanning. All right, looks like we're going to pull the trigger here and deny the soul. You could just go for Baron instead. Like, the red team could use the Baron over the soul just to have map pressure. Let's just watch this unfold. Senna R, of course, Yone kills Pantheon because he's useless. Kai'Sa's in the back. We need to try and keep her alive. The Senna's gonna kill her. Volibear flashes to kill her. Knockback. Ult to reposition. Lux in the back line. Ooh. Oh, no, they got the soul too. Oh, that wasn't good. That's not good. That's looking ominous, isn't it? Hold the top wave here. They're gonna take the Baron too, so that's soul plus Baron. Plus all the ratios in the world, 16, 9, 19. Let's have a look here. 3,800 extra damage dealt with this bruiser item. Damage reduced 1,500 on the Anathema's chain. All right, it's gonna come down to one more fight, ladies and gentlemen. One more fight. This is actually gonna kind of gotten a little bit intense, hasn't it? Long time since we've had such a long video. All right, We're just buying elixirs all the time, by the way, in these games. You just buy elixirs. This is it. Strap in. Or strap on. Get it? You get it. Wait for them to push. They have soul. Volibear is going to overcommit. Yeah, that's it. Wait for the overcommit. Patience. Keep the Kaiser alive if you can. Yone doesn't have his GA, which means now we can stay here. We do have ult. We have E. We reposition using the phase rush proc. Ult into the back line. Beautifully done. That's it. That's it. That's it. Clap in the comments. Beautiful tank play. Beautiful tank team fighting. A little bit of into the early to mid game. But that is how you play tank phase rush Hecarim in a game where it looks like you need to carry by yourself. Wait for your team to stick with you. Protect the hyper carry on your team. Lux TPs. Let's finish this baby up. Beautiful. Beautiful, well-rounded game. Hecarim, definitely still not an objectively 1v9 S-tier jungler, but something that is performing significantly better, especially in the tank build. I do recommend for those looking to smurf, get the Mana Moon build instead of perhaps the Anathemas change in this regard, because of course the Frozen Heart helps there as well. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Ganked in from 81% Hecarim, buffed Hecarim, all the way from EU West. My voice is tired now. Thank you very much for watching. Coaching in the description, main channel in the description. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.